Good evening, my fellow Ambazonians and friends of Ambazonians. All many place day. Welcome for this. I don't come for can salute now. I don't come for can salute all now. For this day, una Thursday, for number 29 day for the month of July for 2021. Good evening for all now. Welcome. Story day as always. I always like for can give una updates. I always like for can give una the latest of what did happen. I always like for can give una better news, better information. Most importantly, I always like for can inspire our people them, encourage our people them, educate our people them. I want can get a very important discussion with all our people them for give una the latest updates of all the updates them for which it go on. I go take una go inside the game of the liberation. I go take una go for inside the game of La République du Cameroun and why we need to understand which are things that go and why everybody get for be very happy. All right? Which are things that go? What be the signs where every person get for to pay attention to those signs and why every person you get for be optimistic, you get for be very happy for the future of Ambazonia. All right? So today, I don't come for can give an insight from the inside. All right? So, welcome. And I hope say all man they fine. I hope say when they take good care of yourselves. I hope say when they do well. I hope say the things they want when they do them, they work are fine. So, I will give a couple of news items and then we'll go right inside the discussion. We'll forget them today. I want to tell all we wanna be connected with me on Facebook. Last 3 months, Facebook don't block all especially don't block my account. My account I use for the liberation, it don't block them. I know if you go live on Facebook. Today again, you never finish 3 months where they supposed to open the account. They don't they don't come put another 3 months on top of 3 months. So that means say from now until August, September, October till end of October, I don't fit do anything on Facebook. So for the next 7 days, I don't fit post on Facebook. Everything we're going to do, it will be now on WhatsApp and it will be now on YouTube. So subscribe for my channel here. Just click like, subscribe, so that every time I come live for YouTube, you go get an alert. You go get a flash for tell you say a day online. All right. This broadcast also, the people for ACN TV, they go the streamer at any time from now. So on my place day, when I welcome, make you enter inside the story. I know say when I the wait, when I the prepare, wait till Mr. PS Asu. He go talk today. As all when I know, my name now Lucas or Asu Lucas, when I the press secretary for the executive office for Governing Council of Ambazonia. Yami say I be the spokesperson for the office for Ambazonia liberation for the leader for Ambazonia War of Independence, Dr. Ayaba Cho. So when I come fine, make we enter inside the story we bring all way for here today. Make we start with this big news. We come up for the Ambazonian War Council. Yesterday, the leader for Ambazonian War Council, when I also be the leader, the chairman for Ambazonia Defense Forces, Oga Benedict Kwa, yesterday, he come for outside, he make a big announcement for talk for the Ambazonian people, for help the Ambazonian people make them understand which they go on and the restructuring will take place within the Ambazonia Defense Forces. Yesterday, one of the ADF top generals them for the great state of Bui, General Capo, for all the work we don't do and for the Ambazonian people them, for all the actions and we don't carry on against the colonial military, police, gendarme, and all the work we do for keep the Ambazonian people them, for keep the Ambazonian people them safe and for defend the community and the state of Bui. Yesterday, for leadership and for heroism. Yesterday, the Ambazonia War Council, it don't promote and add one more rank to the rank of General Capo. So the big general for Bui, for the ADF Bui Brigade, General Capo, they don't promote it now. It don't become now a major general. So maybe gonna not call it anymore General Capo. Una must call it for a new rank where they don't add them. For ADF, you need to take rank anyhow. You need to just come out, they give you rank. Rank na something where you must earn them through your leadership, through your discipline, through your hard work, through your action, through your team spirit, through your liberation spirit, through your character. Now all those things that make you grow for ADF, because now command and control structure, just like any other military, you earn your position based on your effort, your team spirit, your hard work, and the kind of actions the way you carry and for make yourself a leader within the block where they fight there. So General Capo for ADF Bui Brigade, congratulations. Now you don't become Major General Capo. So for announcements, for 2 days from now, we go be now on Saturday for July 31st. The man we all wanna know he, Mr. Patrice Ngana, or as they call it, Professor Patrice Ngana. The man we wanna know he, na a warrior, na a rebel, na a scholar, na a freedom fighter, na a powerful voice. 2 days from now, 2 days, for Saturday, July 31st, for exactly 4 p.m. Ambazonia time, for exactly 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that means say for Washington, D.C. time and for Toronto time. Me and Mr. Patrice Ngana will get a one-to-one interview. And it will be now one of the most powerful interview we don't be conducted for Ambazonia liberation, about freedom, about what did happen for La Republic of Cameroun, and about what did happen for Intercontinental Hotel. All right? On Saturday, we will talk with the master himself. The man will go for Intercontinental Hotel. For go jam pobia. When I hear the story, we will bring another story live on Saturday, where it will be on July 31st. For exactly 4 p.m. Amba time, and it will be at exactly 11 a.m. for Eastern Standard Time. Next, La République du Cameroun, their desperation, it don't take them now, it make them now, they don't turn the people the way that they produce now only fake flyers for target the top officials and the top leadership of Ambazonia Governing Council, the AGOVC, and the top officials of Ambazonia Defense Forces, the ADF. Today again, they don't move one of those fake flyers for a fake newspaper, for a fake front page, for one of their colonial newspaper. All right? And I will tell you why they do these things. I will tell you the game we did on the ground, and I will tell you where they come up and why we need for understand the game. We'll bring back this flyer small time. My fellow people, the last few days, they don't be very interesting few days. The last few days, they don't be very exciting few days. The last few days, they don't be like, say, the world they can't end on social media. The last few days, they don't be very interesting. So on the ground, the last few days, they don't be very interesting. Some very important thing that happen for Bali. Why? It make the block, the road for Bali. Very important thing that happen for Bali. And why soldier them for Bali? They block the road for Bali. All right? We don't finish our investigation. We don't gather all the information them about the mafia where they go on the ground, about the manipulation where they go on the ground, about the big underground business where they go on the ground. And why did use now the Ambazonian liberation? Did use now the Ambazonian population for the manipulation where they go on the ground. Big business that they go on the ground. And he talks a big business then. It involves a lot of millions. Where now, they don't use now the Ambazonian liberation for do those business. Soldiers, they don't take the liberation for do big business then. With big business people then. Including the colonial CPDM elites and the Ambazonian liberation and the Ambazonian people then. That they don't become the cover where they use them for do those underground business. The road where they block and for Bali. My primary example. We can give now the full updates about the underground mafia and the big business where they go on the ground and why they lock that road. Will they bring that information? It's more time. La République du Cameroun, it don't move the biggest headline for the history of La République du Cameroun, for their newspaper, where they call and say the Guardian Post. They put them, say the war where they go on between La République du Cameroun and the Ambazonian people them, now because the war where they go on between Ambazonia and La République du Cameroun, now because no be na we talk am. Now La République du Cameroun themselves, they don't push their media houses, their journalists, their TV places, the place for newspaper. They don't push them for front, for prepare the minds of the Ambazonian people them. This newspaper headline now a signal. Now what we call and say pre-framing for neurolinguistics or for social psychology language. They call and say pre-framing. You prepare people their mind in advance for tell them what they come. So La République don't the pre-paving. It don't create the road where they want to take the people them ahead. This newspaper headline are part of the pre-paving. Now part of the pivot. Where Cameroun, it don't start for signal. They defeat the Ambazonian defeat of La République du Cameroun. It don't cost Cameroun for start for talk waiting to be denied. Say bibi na a taboo. It be na an abomination. When you talk am, they'll catch you, go lock am. When you talk about it, they go kill you. When you mention them, they go disappear you. A prominent La République du Cameroun professor, he don't woke up, he tell the colonial state, say when they try for solve a problem, but when they run away from what you wanna do and what cause the problem. But he tell them, say, I must tell una the honest truth. Now we tell them, say, this war we wanna fight them for 2021. This war will start for 2016. The conflict, the crisis, however you want to call them. It come as a result of una fraud. It comes as a result of the fact that we need to respect laws. We need to respect basic agreements. We need to respect basic procedures. Now, so a famous La République du Cameroun educated person for big book. Now, so he tell them. So they carry him, they put him for their front newspaper. They say the reason why this war they go on today, now because La République du Cameroun, it be violate the terms of the union with the people of Southern Cameroons. So what did this one mean for the Ambazonian people then? You know, say, but why you take a newspaper headline, one can't talk for way about it? Because it get everything for do with you and who things that it go. It get everything for do with the Ambazonian people them and the conversation within La République du Cameroun. The Ambazonian defeat of Cameroon, it don't cause La République du Cameroun for start for change its stance and a posture. They don't change their language. They don't become very soft. Defeat, it get away for defeat. It get away for humble people them. Defeat get away for soften people them. Your language don't change. La République du Cameroun now they beg the Ambazonian people them through their newspaper publications. They don't send people them for outside for the beg. When I don't hear words like, oh, the war started now because Cameroon be violate the terms of the union. So now you bring me for place who they now. So if we get for solve the problem, we get for restore the terms of those union. And we get for go back and abide by the terms of those union. Now all the pre-paving than this. Now all the pre-framing than this. Now all the pivoting than this. Because Cameroon they try to run away from the defeat and the humiliation way as a result of the Ambazonian resistance. All these things now a strategy for help Cameroon for hide them from the defeat, for hide them from the defeat, and for hide them from the failures. All these things now a way the internal enablers, as they call them, the moderates, they try for save Cameroon. As we be tell in the last 2 weeks, say Mr. Biago for Switzerland, now for go get a consultation with some of the key partners from the international community, because they don't tell you, say they don't give it too much time, and since a military option, it don't fail woefully, and it causes a catastrophic impact on both Cameroon and a humanitarian crisis and the death of thousands of Ambazonian citizens and citizens of and the colonial military. The toll of the war, the effects of this useless war by a moron, the world not want him again. So we go to Switzerland, make a consultation with the key international partners from waiting with the year from backside, waiting that they talk for backside. Some people them, they also go meet up Pobia. That one will never get full information, but sign the day say some people them, some Ambazonian people them, they go meet up. We never get the full list of who they be go there, how many people they be go there. But information, the small information there, we show say some Ambazonians, the one the way they talk say they be ready for go talk with Paul Biya for anything we want to talk. A few of them they be go there. We want to get all the details for that intelligence. We also can provide them for una. But for continue the conversation, Biya don't finish a consultation with the key international partners and the top advisors as to wetin if it offer them where it will be somewhat acceptable by the international community, and if they persuade the Ambazonian people enough and bring the core movements them for buy into it, then if it succeed as the solution, that's why they push this newspaper headline. I for tell una wetin dey go on behind the doors, and for inform una na snippets, all right? I just small thing and just give you a preview of wetin dey go on behind the corridors of power and the key discussions and where they take place. So why those things that they take place behind the doors? For front, they push all these things for on the front. And as a result, for start for tell when I say, hey, the colonial state don't they consider, say, the best way for them not for lost Ambazonia totally, maybe, if the talk say make we go back for 1961, maybe the people they will accept that. Now some of the discussion then this way that they go on. Why this one matter for the Ambazonian people? Today, the leader of our war of independence, for a audio message, we move on all for the Ambazonian people then. For like the audio be like 10-minute audio. I want back all man with it for here because they will stream this program for ACN TV. With the back all una listen for this 10-minute audio, and I go bring una the news, the thing will happen right now, currently. And wetin be the proposal where it involves all Ambazonians, all leaders, all movements, some very important thing there. What I get for tell una. Una listen for wetin the leader talk.
Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. This is Dr. Cho Ayaba. Let me once more congratulate Major General Kapo for his appointment and the men and women under his command. We wish them well, and we will do everything humanly possible to provide what they need to defend our homeland, consolidate our gains, stabilize we, so that our community schools can be entrenched and expanded. It is very critical that they adhere to their code of conduct and work together with our population to speed up, the liberation of our country. I also want to inform Ambazonians that from the 8th of August, there might be a lockdown in Biafra land. I was informed yesterday by the leadership that they may be instituting a lockdown in Biafra every Monday until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released from jail. This may affect Ambazonians trading with Biafra, and so you have to factor this new reality into your program. We continue to encourage trade with Biafra and discourage trade with Cameroun. This is a 70 million strong economic bloc that provides an average of 75% of the GDP of the occupying countries. And we will continue to discuss with the Biafran leadership also to encourage Biafrans to buy more Ambazonian products, since Biafra land is not as rich in food production as Ambazonia. This could be mutually beneficial for both peoples. It has also come to my attention that members of the town hall and the CDN were engaged in the last weeks in disparaging attack on my press secretary Asu Lucas and the deputy defense chief Capo Daniel. I asked these people to desist from this public ranting. You cannot gain legitimacy through the destruction of others. In the past 4 years, the attempt at sabotage, blackmail for the purpose of legitimacy has not worked. It has had negative impact on our liberation struggle and on individuals. All the architects of blackmail and sabotage are nowhere to be found. We must note that Ambazonia is going to remain a plural society with divergent views, courses of action, and we must learn to respect the position of others. I was made to understand that in the attempt to mobilize funds for the AMF, they thought it was appropriate to criminalize the ADF and my spokesperson. Now, let me tell them this. For the past 4 years, they have attempted with DOD, they've experimented with ASC, they have tried desperately to benefit from the attack of the ADF, exploit discord in Bui, with the hope that the ADF leadership would decamp to them. It has not worked. And they are now in another desperate attempt to hijack the AMF to use it for purposes of legitimacy and purposes of negotiation. Nobody will speak for Ambazonia. Nobody. We will speak as a people. The defense forces, the political leadership, our public speakers, the bloggers, and other stakeholders, to be led in the process of negotiation by experts. The desperate attempt to bring leaders in Washington to showcase to the Swiss that we are together so that they can use it for negotiation did not work. Excuse me. Another desperate attempt to negotiate in Yaoundé and using background channels for purposes of collaboration did not also work. No one will use our people to either stop ghost towns, call for ceasefire, or to engage in premature negotiations that is not going to be for the interests of Ambazonia. We have given an appropriate formula for negotiations. We have also given an appropriate formula on how we can fight together on the ground by allowing the forces to collaborate rather than demonizing the Ambazonian Defense Forces and propping other forces to attack the ADF. This is not sensible leadership. This is not what statesmen do. This is what desperados do. We aren't fools. All these splinters of the IG, whether CDN, town halls, would think we don't understand what their agenda is, to use others to prop others. We want to let them know the Ambazonian Governing Council will remain firm on what it will take to negotiate. As we have repeatedly written and spoken, we are ready as a people to engage and get a surrender letter from the regime. We are also building the strength of our forces to consolidate our gains, stabilize the territory for the protection of our civilian population, and to engage in more offensive actions against the last remnants of Cameroon's military. We must be humbled in leadership, and we must be clear with our intentions. Hidden motivations to use others in the name of collaboration will not work. It has not worked before. I want to assure Ambazonians that for 30 years, the attempt by populists to destroy nationalist movement in order to speedily take the liberation struggle to our unknown destination has been resisted. And history has shown from the Ekontang Elat, the Ndoki Muketes, the Munzos, and all those who purportedly claim to have stood for Ambazonia, their position today is known. Time is critical in testing the resolve of a people for freedom. And as time has shown, just in barely 4 years, the cream of men and women who have decamped should open our eyes. There are no shortcuts to liberation. You cannot destroy others to gain legitimacy. Blackmail is not a strategy. It's a short-term strategy for power. It is not a long-term strategy for political liberation. To gain credibility, you must work hard. Go down, recruit, train, equip, and call a force your own. Don't bribe, hijack, and sit on social media and make a lot of noise. You are not in charge. Our forces must remain committed to the liberation of our homeland. At the appropriate time, we will constitute as a people a transitional authority that will build a formidable constitution, that will set the economic philosophy, will build a prototype system that will be transplanted in an independent Ambazonia. And we, the people, will be given the opportunity to elect those who will be in charge of our government. All this assumption of titles of president of a state is what has caused the chaos in our struggle. And this must come to an end. Set up your movement, protect it, work and build it. You are not going to do that by trying to discredit and attack others. The ADF is indestructible. The AGOVC remains poised, strong, not only in the caliber of men and women, but in its procedure that is transparent and accountable. The one reason for which we want to leave this terrorist regime is because its practices, its tradition, its customs, its norms are antithetical to the very foundation of the Ambazonian state. And we are not going to replicate those bad habits during the liberation process. Ambazonians remain focused, fight your fight with humility, with respect for one another, and we will be free as a people. God bless you all.
All right. That one, the message with the leader, the strategist of our liberation, Dr. Ayaba Cho, he put them out for today. Forgive the Ambazonian people that sense of clarity and understanding for all we, for start for think as one people, for start for move for a common direction. Now we understand why we put this picture for una for up. This picture, I put them again. La République du Cameroun don't shake like old dross. It don't shake like dross where the elastic where they hold the dross together. It don't cut. The dross don't shake. Pobia don't shake. Cameroun the shake. And so they define all ways for repeat 1961. They define all ways for repeat 1961 as a strategy for save Cameroun by them for find a way for get the Ambazonian people them back through a form of reconciliation, through a form of, as they call them, federation, a return to federation, or as they call them now, confederation. Any of those two words, whether in a federation, whether in a return to federation, or with a new coin word, or confederation, they mean now one thing, one Cameroun. They mean say Ambazonia will continue to be under some shape, some form within Cameroun. Now so it mean. So Cameroun did play, here is the game where Cameroun did play. For 1961, they divide Ambazonian leaders them. They give someone them choice. Oh, make we choose for remain with Nigeria. They give the other one them a choice for a union with Cameroun. Then the other one they push for an independent Ambazonia. They take Ambazonians, they divide them, they twist them for different places. A union with Cameroun, a union with Nigeria, or an independent Ambazonia. Through this division, the international system move in hand for all the processes where they're supposed to grant Ambazonia and the independence we need them. He end up not getting independence. Cameroun end up for occupy Ambazonia, next Ambazonia, and colonize the Ambazonian people them. Everything with the Ambazonian people they get them. Cameroun don't sweep them all. They want to do that same thing now. Cameroun they try to negotiate with the Kondengi government. Now, one of the ways that they want to divide the Ambazonian leadership. Forget a negotiation with the leaders and for prison, separate. At the same time, they don't divide the other one them. The same IG, they divide them into two. One, the IG for Kondengi, and the other one, the IG for Maryland. The same Cameroun, it push the IG for Maryland for a different direction. Why did it play double game for fine way with the negotiation with the Kondengi leaders as when I be get them the last time? Where they be talk, say they be the talk. So why the Kondengi negotiation be they go on? The Swiss negotiation be they go on. But for all the direction them, now Cameroun, it guide the direction. It push the direction. For avoid Cameroon's manipulation, for avoid the corruption and bribery from Cameroon and within the international system, for protect their interest. While Ambazonians they give up their independence. So they will find weak leaders where they don't get character, they be corruptible for position of power as they declare themselves the gods of Ambazonia. So they make themselves become prone to corruption and bribery and political manipulation because they like power. They want prestige, they want positions. So they don't show themselves to be cheap. So the international system understand that, Cameroon understand that game. So that's why I don't divide them. For avoid this manipulation and for the Ambazonian people then, for not fall for the trap of 1961, where the political leadership will be divided. And therefore the outcome, which it will come out, it no go be something where it favor the Ambazonian people then. The wise man, the intelligent man, the Moses, the visionary leader with 30 years of experience for guide in judgment, with 30 years of experience for guide in decision-making processes. Dr. Ayaba Cho, he talks we'll get for learn from history. We'll get for learn from witty other leaders. They don't hijack the Ambazonian struggle for each stage. Sell them for Cameroon. as he don't name him. Just like Munzo become for front, Cameroun take he. Things that collapse. Others, when I don't see them, they don't show that same weakness of character and judgment for avoid the mistakes of the past. The leader for a war of liberation, he talks, no, we no go get different negotiations. A separate negotiation no go take place with leaders for Kondengi. A separate negotiation no go take place with a new movement we don't create they call and say CDN. And a separate negotiation, it no go take place with the peaks. Cameroon no go choose the Ambazonian people then for different direction, for weaken them, for corrupt the process, for give some people the political power, so that they go push things in where they will be at the disadvantage to the Ambazonian people then. So the wise man, the smart man, the man we don't always save our liberation and protect that liberation, the man will give you the roadmap and the strategy for how for win La République du Cameroun. He don't come out with a formula for protect the Ambazonian people then. A formula we go guarantee say that only one negotiation will take place, and that negotiation will involves every Ambazonian. The leader don't propose to the Ambazonian people then a unique formula for say, hey, now the people, now a grassroots movement, now an uprising will start with the people. It start with our mommy them. It start with our picking them. It start with our big papa them, big mommy them. It start with our brothers and sisters. Now the people, their liberation. So even though through the people them, political movements, they don't come out, the various political movements with different agendas, different ideologies, they no go get different negotiation for one Ambazonia. Now only one negotiation, it will be for Ambazonia. The people they rise up for fight for one thing. The people they rise up for ask for one thing. All we. The soldiers they rise up for ask for one thing. Pekin that they boycott school for ask for one thing. Mami that they observe ghost town for ask for one thing. Soldiers that they fight for ask for one thing. Refugees that they suffer for different countries because of one thing. Thousands of Ambazonians that they die, that they starve for the various concentration camps within Cameroon for one thing. So Ambazonia they know will be divided. Now only one negotiation will take place. And that negotiation, it will bring all men together for solve the problem of which Cameroon don't create them for inside Ambazonia, this infighting, for solve the problem, for not drag we for different places and create a chaotic future. The leader of a war of independence, a goal, a primary goal as the leader. Now for make sure say Ambazonia get post-independence political stability. Very important. If we get different negotiations, then the various people them for maintain their power where they don't claim them within Ambazonian struggle. Their small power where they don't claim them. For maintain that power, they go want go protect their own agendas. Some they will talk say, then the one they fight now for the restoration of Southern Cameroons. I want to know what the restoration mean. Restoration means they go back for something will be exist as they call their forces, restoration forces. They want restore the past. Now the meaning that All right? Now the subliminal meaning that. So when you hear this restoration, now make you go back for what it be exist. So some people they fight. Now for help Cameroun, make it get back the two-state federation. Now the other people, now one of the people the agenda than that. The other one they fight for anything we poor BFI offer them. And then they take them. They be okay. But for the Ambazonian people them, they want a freedom, they want independence. So how you feel avoid all those kind of things? That's why you get a leadership. That's why Dr. Ayaba, he proposed this unique formula. It consists of, for bring all the civil societies, the civil society organization them, for bring them together. Bring what defense forces all together. Bring what bloggers, what communicators, what social media activists, what frontline communicators, where they play such an important role for bring all them together. And then bring all the political leadership, the nationalist movements, them, bring all man together. So that together as a people, we go constitute a team of experts. That team no go be constituted by Dr. Ayaba himself or alone. That team no go be constituted by the Kondengi IG. That team no go be constituted by the social media bloggers alone or the defense forces alone. That team no go be constituted by the civil societies movement alone. But now for bring all these various constituencies, the civil society organizations, defense groups, bring the communicators, the bloggers, the activists, the frontline social media spokespeople, and for bring the political leadership. When you bring all them together, then all we as a people, now for them we will go now, we go choose. So okay, for now who they be the best Ambazonians then? Where when it comes to issues of negotiation, they get the character, they get the integrity, they understand what people that they fight for, they understand what people that they demand, they understand what people that they sacrifice for, they understand what people they want, they understand the illegality of the past, they understand the fraud of the past. Now who them? Now would they be the top legal minds for Ambazonia? The sound men and women. Would it be uncompromising? The stand for the dignity and the liberty of the Ambazonian people. Now who them? So all we as a people, now we now go choose those team of experts. And then as a people, now give me a moment. And then we as a people, we now go give those people them a mandate for go represent Ambazonia for negotiation. Now we, the people, the Ambazonian people go give the team of experts the mandate for go represent them for negotiation. We now also know say the leader, he don't set out conditions for the international community. With those conditions, they must meet them for any negotiation to take place. Number one, the negotiation must be credible. Number two, the negotiation must be transparent. Number three, Cameroun must commit to that negotiation and they make them public. No backdoor deals. Then it must be multilateral. Even if not the Swiss, other countries they must join the process. Even if not the Americans, other countries they must join the process. Even if not the British they decide today, or not Germany decide today, other countries they must join the process. It must be multilateral. Once it meet all those criteria, then we constitute ourselves as a people for go get one voice, for one Ambazonia, for one future. Now the unique formula that where the leader don't come up with them for stop all the fear where people they get them. Because some people they feel say they will be left out. So that's why they be in a rush. So that may be at them. So some movements, they don't make negotiation as their primary outcome for the existence of their movement. They don't make negotiation for become an objective instead of deliberation. For them for gain relevance, they fight for good talk with Pobia. For them for gain relevance within which they think say they don't build them as their base. For we for stop all this small picking their tin them. The wise man, the mature man where he don't live from time we be this small and he don't see all which it don't happen. The history, it give you hindsight. All the things how they don't manipulate the Ambazonia for the past. It give you a discipline. It give you the wisdom for make the tough decisions for protect the people their future, the people their aspiration. Because say a people where they don't be deprived of basic participation, they develop tendencies of desperation. A people they don't be deprived of power, social power, political power, educational power, career power. So most people, they never develop the social significance where they feel say they be enough. And these kind of things that they provide the opportunity for people, for them, for carry on for their head, for one for be something, at the expense of the greater good of the people them. Those type of people that they exist. That's why I call them desperados. And over the last, since 2016 till now, all man don't show the Ambazonian people them their true colors. They don't show that their desperation, their hunger for position and power. So they crown themselves all kinds of glories and crowns. For take the Ambazonian people, them as a leader talk to on unknown destinations. For protect the people, their dignity, and the formula that the leader don't prescribe them. For give our people them a common sense of purpose for all man. So the KIG, the Kondengi Yerima IG of Sesekwa Yoktabe, they no need for the fear anything. Una no go lost who una be. I no lost anything. So una carry una self like statesmen. Una carry una self like people the way they stand for something. We don't appeal for leaders, especially when are political prisoners, for them to rise up above this small thing them for groups. Ambazonia go be free. We not get una role for play. But how una conduct una selves, it go determine how una fit into the new future Ambazonia. The character we una display am now go determine the future of Ambazonia. People no need for be so, so mentally poor. Ambazonia be big for accommodate every single person, his dreams, his hopes, and aspirations. Ambazonia be big enough for accommodate all the leaders and for any person for play a vital role for the future of the state. There is room for every person. People no need forget this limited poverty mentality of position and power. There is enough power in a free state. How many ministers you one person you get? How many positions of ministers one person get them? Only one. How many positions of directors one person you want if you try for claim them? Only one. So why would I rush? The future be very certain for our picking them. The future be very certain for our mommy them. The future be bright. So when I relax, when I stop. See, look, my fellow Ambazonians, when you meet up some of these leaders, them, the moment they put out, they go, a leader. You know the most funniest thing? When I see all these people that make all this noise, go meet up them face to face and she done with them for meeting. Just ask and say, what will be a plan for collaboration? Their mob will just lock. Their mob go lock like padlock. It go do like say you take padlock, you lock them for their mob. Now so they will start sweat. When you sit down with them for meeting, you just ask and say, what will be your own plan for collaboration? It did like say their spirit, it run leave their skin for air. They did run. You just ask. Say, what will be a plan for the transition authority? They not tell you nothing. Sometimes we need to talk, not because we don't want to talk. Sometimes we just leave something and make she don't quiet. We just leave and make just. When I know ourselves, all these leaders, they know themselves. They know themselves. Not be that say leader not fit come together. If we come together, it'll be very easy. Fear. So when they don't create these illusions, so they be presidents. So that no one come up from that position. So they rather the liberation collapse that them for change their identity. If they come on now from that position, what they will be? They don't know what else they feel be. So even though the ideology, a false ideology, it will be premature, all their experts, they don't tell them, say, we not stop that nonsense. They are top experts, they don't tell them, say, we not stop that nonsense. So people feel come together. But for leaders to come together, there must be a genuineness. All right? A genuineness for say, I want to work together. There therefore be that openness, that trust. I'm going to lay out some of these elements for my subsequent outings. and tell una how if it happen and what you will need them for happen. If it happen, it be very easy. It not be that complex. It will take willpower. They will not need for any person for give up anything right now. For we forget there. The formula where the leader don't design them, it will protect whoever what he thinks he be today. What I think say now you be now you be king for Ambazonia. Alright? You be the prince of Ambazonia. It will still protect your image, your identity. It will protect all money identity. It will protect the two IGs, their identity. The people who never be liberated, they already get two governments. Interesting. It will protect all their identities, and then it will help we will get a common negotiation. We go stop all this nonsense from outside here. Because it will avoid the drama we did for head. Dr. Abba did all what he did try to do now for we, now for avoid the drama with their head. If we follow this process and this formula with the leader don't lay them down, if we follow them, it will guarantee post-independence political stability. We not take them for our head. Anything other than that, the future will be very dangerous for the Ambazonian people. Then. Anything short of that, the political chaos. We not think say infighting there now. We not wait. We not wait. If we not do the right thing, we not follow common sense. We not follow wisdom. We not wait. Dr. Baron make them very clear. Look, ma tell us something. The Governing Council of Ambazonia. When the Governing Council of Ambazonia, when the United Nations, they engage, when the office of the Secretary General of the UN is start for engage the Governing Council of Ambazonia for possibility of negotiation. The leader, he consult other leaders. He go tell other leaders. Say, look, the office of the Secretary General don't reach out for we. For start preliminary talks. He go tell them. He no hide them for them. Because he believes in a fight for all we. And therefore, anything where he go get an impact for the future of Ambazonia, or the other lead, he go for bring all man together. The egg of sea by itself, it be powerful enough for go get a negotiation. And we go be implemented by the international system. If you do one, it be powerful enough. And it get the backing of the most powerful force for do one. But imagine what will happen after that. If Dr. Ayaba with the Governing Council, they carry their power where they get them. And they go get a negotiation. And then I be binding on the Ambazonian people through the UN with Cameroun. And it be accepted. What you think say go happen for ground? What you think say go happen for the southern states and the Atlantic state and the Savannah states? What you think say go happen? But why you go for doing? There's no need. You no need for proof anything for any person. Because not be waiting to fight for that. Not be waiting the Governing Council of Ambazonia to fight for that. They need fight for proof something for any man. And they need fight for dominate any person. They want to do what to be right for our people and forget what they want them. For the way we go give our people them exactly the freedom and the independence so they want them. And for make sure so we'll get post-independence political stability. So that interstate wars and all those defense groups and for down with different ideologies, then the war on the ground, it will be endless. That's why it be very humble with its power. That's why the AGOFC be very humble with its power. That's why now they always preach for bring all the other people them together for a common objective and a common outcome. We must protect the future by doing the right thing. We call on all other leaders for desist from their premature adventures. As a people, now one negotiation will go get them. The Governing Council of Ambazonia, it will ensure, say as a people, we not go be manipulated. No, they don't use this group versus that group for weaken we and for divide we. They not go use that force against this force for weaken we and for divide we. There is space and a place for all the movements. Ambazonia be too big and the future are for all man. No man no need for worry. But the illusion of power, the illusion, say some people they go fight today and then some other one they go make negotiation on their behalf. Ma tell you now an illusion. It no go ever happen. The illusion say other people they go fight and then other people they go talk on their behalf. It no go happen. The illusion say other people they go liberate and other people they take them, they go crown themselves as government from Ambazonia. It no go happen. All the groups that they did for outside here for diaspora, all man, all those groups, they go constitute themselves as political parties for the future Ambazonia. Now those groups, during the process of negotiation, they go come together and constitute the transition authority when I go take over for build a small institution that we need them. We go do them all as one people. No group no go impose itself as a government for the Ambazonian people. Them. That nonsense it end for outside here. And I don't see the chaos we don't cause them. Imagine say they carry all this ballock, they translate them to the ground. How ground which ground zero will become? Now the years say some people they fight for own a Imojok. Now the years say some people they fight for own Manfred Central. Now the years say some people they fight for own Lebialem. Then someone will go claim say Fakon na their own. Someone will go claim say Mezam na their own. Just like someone that they claim now say Guzan na their own. Not be only Guzan, someone will go claim say Batibo na their own. So other people will go, they say na Bechati na their own. Then in 1 year, some other forces, they will talk say, na them they fight for Ngoketunja, so na them they get Ngoketunja. Some other one they will talk say, Bui, now we fight for Bui na our own. Then you go the year, the one where they fight for Northern Bui, they say na Northern Bui na their own. The one for Southern Bui na their own. It no go easy. That's why the wise man, for avoid all these small power blocks. Now for we for constitute ourselves as a people and get one common negotiation. And for we to work as one people, even though we get different opinions, different perceptions and views, but we feel reason under common things where they bind all we as Ambazonians. All we feel agree on basic standards and basic principles. The thing that they call as a freedom. But without discipline, there's no freedom. If we agree on the common things then, where they bind the future, with the Ambazonian people they want them, all if we agree on those common things then. So with all these differences, commonalities today, things where they bind all we together, the things in which every movement, every Ambazonian, if we agree on, right? So now the wisdom this for Dr. Ayaba, now wisdom this, as the father of the liberation, as the person when I oversee the liberation, for protect the people, their aspiration. Now a man we believe for justice and honesty. Now a man we believe for mutual respect. A man we believe say, all we feel work together. All. Everyone will disagree. But as long as we respect each other, we feel work together. We no need for agree for all things. Because it make we a plural society. A mixture of people them. A diverse people them. Now what to make diversity that? We get strength and weaknesses. Some they be extreme, some they be moderate, some they be soft, some they be hard. Some they be harsh, some they be soft-spoken. Some they be strong, some they be weak. It makes a very beautiful society. Just like music, with the different melodies. Makes a very beautiful sound. Because it means we create different things and build a bright society for all. So shake no day. People are not need for the panic. Say they will lose some significance. All right? They will lose some social significance. If, because I don't call myself a government, if I go talk with other people, they not be call themselves a government, then who I go be? Illusions. Social illusions. You go still be who you be. Like people they think say, oh. So if today I not be the PS again, now who I go be? Who I be before I become the PS for Egosi? Who I be? I still get more influence outside of this my volunteer for Ambazonia. All right, I get 100 times more influence and social significance outside of this. So my who I be. My life, it not be dependent on on this. The one I volunteer, it carry a lot of cost and a lot of sacrifices, sleepless nights, stress, all right, headaches. We carry all the burden for the people them, not be for ourselves. All the sacrifice, the threat on our lives, our security. Since I take this position, I got to change my social life. I know if you do certain things than what I used to do before. I know if you go certain places where I used to go before. My social life got for drastically change. Because of the responsibility them I carry on for the people them on behalf of the leader. So I got to adjust myself. I got to adjust my life. With great powers come great responsibility. It changed the way I feel even talk for now. Therefore, speak for the way to reflect what people them. I know if you use certain words. I know if you speak anyhow. That responsibility that. So I hope say the message be very clear for all man. No man no need for the get stress. No man no need for worry. The generation no go fall for Cameroun manipulations anymore. and where they will feed one, and the leader don't offer that unique formula. All right? And the message Jesus will be talking about, I can't take the time, get this conversation with now. No matter place you're there as an Ambazonia, if you quarrel a lot, because a lot of when I don't carry these things, a government for one head. And when argument just too much. Now, this one will be government, and this one will be government, all those things, I might just tell you up front. A lie. When I get a government, now when I go choose them. Okay? Ambazonia no go form any mushroom state. No fraud, no corruption for set up corrupt processes and corrupt procedures. We will follow international standards for constitute ourselves, and the people, they go elect a government. We go govern them. The people, they will choose the leaders for transition and the leaders for the transition period. They will help for design the constitution of Ambazonia, create the economic vision for Ambazonia, start for build the institutions for schools, trade, constitute the police force, complete the building of the military and the secret services of Ambazonia, finish for build and clean up the Prime Minister's Lodge. Ambazonia will be now a system we get 13 states. 13 states. And each state, you go get a federal university where economy go based on science, technology, and engineering. Work their head for all man. Focus now on the liberation. We call on all the defense forces on the ground for work together, collaborate, and end the occupation. We call on the defense forces for desist from the mafia where they go on the ground. With some of them, they don't be highly involved for a big mafia with a colonial state. We'll bring on some of those updates in the coming days. We must expose anything we don't become a distraction and it impose pain on the Ambazonian people then. There is more to the road with the block and for Bali than I know. They not block the road for Bali. Now because of which the Cameroun government, because of the ban, the ban on bikes circulation, the colonial ban on bike circulation. There is more to it. There is an underground big mafia. We'll bring that information. And they talk this for today. On Saturday, just in 2 days, as I don't tell you now, we'll go get the biggest interview on our program for ACN, what they call and say the interview with Professor Patrice Ngana. We will get fun. It could be one of the most interesting interview. So I hope so you could take the time on Saturday for 4 p.m. Ambazonia time. We're going to be at 11 a.m. Washington time and 11 a.m. for Toronto time. For joining me for that program. Can get a good time and hear what did happen for outside here. All right. As always, we love una plenty. Share this video, may reach other people them, so that other people them they get the understanding of the update, the situational update, and the policy update. All right. Una stay well. Una take good care of yourselves. Una here. Above all, una take good care of our picking them. We love una all. Una get a beautiful Thursday evening. We'll talk for una tomorrow, and we'll talk for una on Saturday during the interview with Patrice Ghana. Bye for now. I gotta go night.